Alright, Mega Giga Cross formation has just been confirmed. As the crossing of the tips commences amidst the tightest moving average squeezing we've literally ever seen on this chart, the battle between the Moon Boys versus the Boneless Bears comes to a massive climax. And I promise only one will bust. With the massive battle of the Baby Bulls versus the Baby Bears continues to rage on, there are some huge things that have just shown up. And specifically what I want to talk about is also the stock market, which today, the S&P is up massively. The NASDAQ is up as well, looking very good, concretely breaking the $4,200 level, which if we put on the chart horizontally right here, a very clear level of support turned resistance, turned very long-term resistance going back, well over a year. And we've just actually gotten above that level now. So historically, if this is a trend that is going to continue for even just a month or so, Bitcoin should benefit from this. The crypto market should benefit from this. And it is at this very second lagging behind a little, but I'm going to get into that as well in this video. But I do think it's important to start off talking about the stock market breaching those new yearly highs today. It's just very important for the overall health of some of these markets. And the DXY yesterday as well, having a nice little dump. Currently right now trying to hold the bottom of this channel here, or this support level. As I've been saying, I believe this is going to be a dead cat bounce. I believe the DXY benefited massively during 2022. And as we actually literally as 2023 began, it started dumping. And I think that trend is going to continue for at least the rest of the year. But with Bitcoin sitting still firmly right above the 200-week moving average, we have yet to see any big bust. But one thing I want to jump into right away is that when we look at the 2013 and 2017 cycle, according to Stock Money Lizards here, we are right now within our first sideways consolidation ranges after complete capitulation, which basically also means the bottom of the bear market, before having a bust, and then some more sideways consolidation before the giga mega bust, the bull market, the bull run, the money-making gainers that come once basically every 4 years. And that is without question exactly where I believe we are. With this as well, Gaussian channel pointed out by Titan of Crypto it's taking a little longer for this weekly Gaussian channel crossover than it did in the past. But once we get this crossover, things get very big. And again, this is one of those things that can happen so quickly. And I want to highlight as well that today, market-based inflation expectations have moved down to a little over 2%, which is the lowest level since January of 2021, the 5-year break-even rate. And that is the expectations for the market-based inflation. So if we see inflation really start to react and start to come down here, then it's very possible, it's very likely we see a pause soon. I believe about a week or so ago, the chances of another rate hike in June were like 75%, and now it's like the exact opposite. It flipped. And these numbers can change all the time, but with just a little under 2 weeks until the next hike or pause, I think these markets are heavily anticipating what could happen. What do you think will happen? If we actually get our first pause of like the last year in terms of these rate hikes at the FOMC meeting, do you think the markets will pump? I firmly believe the stock market will pump massively. Bitcoin is lagging behind a little bit, but I also believe Bitcoin will pump also. Now, if we take a look on Bitcoin's chart, we had that initial breakout a couple of days ago on the 28th of May. It was 4 days of going down. Today we're getting a little bit of a bounce right on the same trend line, right where the breakout began. We attempted to have a little move back here all the way in May, the very beginning of May. We quickly rejected, brought right back in, and we've just been still trading within this range. And right now we're still holding right on the top of this pattern. So if we can bounce here, then we can truly have a breakout to the 30K and above level, because we had the initial breakout, we had the back test. We're in the middle of the back test actually right now, so that's exciting. But we need to bounce though, and it is honestly not a good sign necessarily that the stock market is up 1-2% today, and Bitcoin is it's up almost 1%, but that's really not for Bitcoin, that's not really that much, especially in this type of environment. But again, still within the midst of a giant inverse head and shoulders that I believe will take us to the mid $30,000 range. MMI indicator still, again, I believe we're about to get a massive move up here. The longest we've ever spent on this line before getting a massive move was right around 3 or 4 of these candles. So I personally believe we're pretty close. I mean, if you wake up tomorrow and you see Bitcoin pumped $3,000 or $4,000, not unexpected. Could it swing the other way and go down $3,000 or $4,000? Well, I think something really bad would have to happen for that to be the case. I still think worst case scenario, 23 to 25,000 is the lowest Bitcoin realistically can go for the rest of this year, unless something really big changes. But the way the macro environment is setting up, the way stocks are doing, how far we are into this bear market turned bull market, very, very, very beginning stages of a bull market, how close we're getting to the halving, less than 320 days, I believe. As we get closer and closer, the window to have a big dump gets less and less. And that's why I still believe if we're going to have a dump, it will look something like this. And then, well, not that straight up, but more something like this. And this is more of a realistic trajectory, I think, than anything. Because you have to remember, guys, there are still people doing these. There are literally people posting charts like this. Showing us maybe hitting 10K 6 months plus from now, maybe a year from now, something like that. If that would happen, they're taking a big risk by saying that's realistic, because it would break every model we have. And for what? Like, what is the main reason that something that bad could happen? I've listened to all the arguments. None of them are, very convincing. You have to be emotionally invested in that idea for it to make sense. But most importantly, on the 30-day chart, we just got our bullish MACD crossover here. Very big, a sign of the momentum shifting. This really started to see like the end of the worst of this true long-term momentum towards the end of last year. And we've seen it only curve up since. And so this is a long-term indicator. If we look back at this 6 months from now, I think 6 months from now, if Bitcoin has not rallied well past 40,000 and altcoins have not at least, big altcoins, the top altcoins by market cap, have not at least doubled their current valuations, I would be completely shocked. Meaning what? Well, Cardano's right now about like 37 cents or something like that, so at least 80 cents. Matic has been right around $1, so at least $2 for Matic, even sometime this year, I think makes sense. Ethereum's been right around 2,000. I think because Ethereum's the second biggest crypto, I think if Ethereum is now at least 3,200 to 3,500 towards the end of this year, I would be surprised, honestly. So with that being said, I think there's a lot of room for pumpiness here. Again, my only concerns are in the very, very short term. I don't have a great idea of what's going to happen in the next 5 minutes, but over the next couple of weeks and especially months, that is primarily what I talk about in these videos, and that is exactly where I feel confident. And take advantage of massive sign-up bonuses with Femex and BitGet below if you're interested in trading, massive deposit bonuses and free sign-up bonuses as well. Specifically, you can earn up to 10,000 free XPT for a limited time if you sign up with my Femex link below. And if you sign up right now with BitGet, just put in an email and a password, you get $10 free and 10% cash back on whatever you deposit. But that is very limited. I believe that there's only a few spaces left. Without further ado, it's free.